আসসালামু আলাইকুম, ওয়েলকাম ব্যাক টু মাই ইউটিউব চ্যানেল রিয়াকশন কিং। আমি আছি আপনাদের সাথে মাহতাব। তো সবাই কেমন আছেন? আশা করি সবাই ভালো আছেন। তো আবারও চলে আসলাম আপনাদের মাঝে নতুন এক ভিডিও নিয়ে। তো চলুন দেরি না করে ভিডিওটি শুরু করা যাক। তো ভিডিওটি শুরু করার আগে আমি আপনাদেরকে একটা কথা বলতে চাই, যারা আমার চ্যানেলে নতুন তারা অবশ্যই আমার চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করবেন এবং পাশে থাকা বেল আইকনটি অন করে দেবেন পরবর্তী নতুন ভিডিওর জন্য। আর যারা অলরেডি সাবস্ক্রাইব করেছেন তাদেরকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ।
Bad credit can affect more than just our ability to borrow money. It can influence our chances of landing a job or renting an apartment. To understand what bad credit is, how it's measured, and ultimately how to repair it, requires understanding how our financial system measures our credit. It turns out that measuring our credit worthiness, how likely we are to repay our debts, begins with something called a credit score. People with bad credit have low credit scores. So, what is a credit score? Well, to borrow money, you'll need to understand how lenders look at you. Lenders, like banks and credit card companies, use a scoring system to see if they want to lend to you. A credit score is a number that lenders use to quantify how risky a borrower you are. The credit scoring used most often is called a FICO score, named after the Fair Isaacs Corporation, who created the standard formula. Credit scores typically range between 300 and 850. The higher a score, the better. Recent laws have ensured that people can access their own credit reports every year for free. Credit scores are made up of 5 factors to determine how likely you are to pay back a loan. 1. Payment history, 35%. Lenders want to see whether you've paid back other loans in full and on time. 2. Amounts owed, 30%. Borrowers may view people who carry a lot of debt as risky, less likely to pay back new loans. 3. Length of credit history, 15%. You'll get a higher credit score when you have more experience managing debt. Lenders like to see a long history of responsible borrowing. And 4. Types of credit in use, 10%. This part of the equation looks at what type of credit a person has: credit cards, installment loans, mortgages, etc. And 5. New credit, 10%. Lenders are on the lookout for a lot of new loan applications in a short period, which is viewed as posing a greater risk and will lower a credit score. Sure, bad credit can make it harder for you to get a loan, but it affects other things too. Scores above 750 are considered good, while numbers around 550, not so much. Mortgages. Want a mortgage? Banks will most definitely use your credit score to determine how large a loan they'll grant you, what interest rate they'll charge, and how many years they'll give you to pay back. If you have bad credit, it may be harder to qualify for a mortgage. If you do qualify, you'll probably pay a higher interest rate because you're considered a riskier borrower. Renting. Some landlords will pull a credit report when a new renter expresses interest in renting one of their properties. Landing a job. Employers can look at an employee's credit score during the application process, though they're not supposed to deny a job because of it. 47% of employers surveyed said they check credit scores of new job applicants. Car insurance. Do bad credit scores lead to bad driving? Insurance companies use their own data to determine who's likely to ding his car and believe there's a connection between low credit scores and accidents. Home insurance. Insurers may be unlikely to issue you insurance if you have poor credit. Why? There may be a link between bad credit scores and making large or false claims on a home or apartment. Water, electricity, and gas. Utility companies regularly check credit scores on customers. Bad credit may require a person to put up a larger deposit. Just because you have bad credit now doesn't mean you'll always have bad credit. Your credit score is a moving target, and it's in your power to improve your score. Here are just a few ways to begin fixing your bad credit and improve your credit score. Pay bills on time. Your credit score can start going down once you're 30 days late in making a payment. So, it's a good idea to try to pay bills within their grace period. Focus on your credit card balances. Your credit scores are more sensitive to revolving debt, like credit cards, than to installment loans, like personal loans. Wiping clean balances on credit cards can be more impactful than paying off mortgages, for example. Use credit cards sparingly. Even if you're paying off your credit card debt monthly, your credit score can still be tarnished if you're maxing your plastic out. A good rule of thumb is to stay under a 10% utilization rate. That means on a $10,000 credit line, you use only $1,000. Consolidate your loans. You can be penalized for having too many balances outstanding. Try to consolidate much of your credit debt onto one card. That said, you may want to keep your old cards active to maintain a healthy utilization rate. So make small charges on these cards every other month or so. Scrub your credit reports clean. You can get a free credit report every year at annualcreditreport.com or by calling 1-877-322-8228. Make sure delinquent payments you've paid off get erased from your report. It's supposed to happen automatically, but frequently these black marks just don't get removed. You're also going to want to double-check all the numbers on your report. Credit lines, delinquencies, and loan amounts can all be misreported. For mistakes, you'll have to let both your creditor and credit agencies know of the problem. Bad credit is said to affect 25% of Americans. If you have bad credit, you're not alone. The bad news is that low credit scores can limit your ability to qualify for new loans and mortgages. The good news is that bad credit can be fixed and poor financial habits improved.
এই ভিডিওটা ভালো লাগলে অবশ্যই একটা লাইক দেবেন আর আপনাদের মন্তব্য আপনাদের মতামত কি অবশ্যই কমেন্ট করে কমেন্ট বক্সে জানাবেন এই ভিডিওটা সম্পর্কে। আর এই ভিডিওটা অরিজিনাল লিঙ্ক আমার ডেসক্রিপশন বক্সে দেওয়া থাকবে, আপনারা চেক করে নেবেন, অবশ্যই দেখবেন। আর পাশাপাশি আমার চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করবেন, আমাকেও সাপোর্ট করবেন এবং আপনারা সাজেস্ট করবেন কোন ভিডিওর উপর রিঅ্যাক্ট করব। আমি চেষ্টা করব আপনাদের কথা রাখার জন্য। তো আজকের মতো এখানেই শেষ, আবারও দেখা হবে কোনো এক নতুন ভিডিওতে। সে পর্যন্ত ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন, আল্লাহ হাফেজ।